Season 3, Episode 3. Welcome back to the Nightlife Podcast. And here we have our special guest, our expert. I know you remember his face because you've probably seen him a few times on the show. Actually,
yes.
I think it's the third time you're here.
This is the third time, yes.
Where can people find you? Because I keep forgetting that. And with you, I promised myself I was not going to forget the hashtags and all those things first.
At Looking Pop, everywhere. Looking Pop on Instagram, Facebook, and online as well.
You are Looking Pop today.
I'm Looking
actually.
Pop. Thank you so much.
I like the color of your shirt, by the way.
At least we're matching.
Goes to the show. Anyways, guys, we are here from Exxon Bakery here in Brickell, Miami. And today we're going to continue what we've been talking about kind of in the past couple of episodes. The first week we spoke about an app, a Nightlife app. And then on episode 2, we spoke about chatbots. And in both cases, we ended up mentioning social media and social media advertising, per se. And that's the one thing that I want to make sure that every time that I have anything that has to do with that subject, I got to bring the guy that knows best. So, first of all, you can find the book on Amazon. You can find me at The Nightlife Entrepreneur on Instagram, and you can find all of our episodes on nightlifepodcast.com. Remember, iTunes, Podomatic, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you like it, video, audio, all the versions. This is actually episode number 53 in total, man.
Wow.
I can't believe that. Isn't that crazy?
It's amazing, man. And I see when we talk about social media advertising stuff, when we get into that, we'll talk about that, about consistency and also prepping for yourself for all the content that you want to put out. And we'll talk about that later, but it's awesome that episode 53, that shows that you have a big thing that a lot of people miss, which is being consistent in an idea and making it happen.
Right, and it hasn't been easy. Yeah, I can tell you that. I mean, and you understand, the whole, from the creating content to being able to find the places, the people that you're going to interview, and it's complicated when it gets out of your hands because it's not all up to you.
Yeah.
There's other factors that affect it makes it more complicated. But yeah, so the main thing I want to talk to you about, Julio, is anything that has to do with paid advertising. I don't want to focus so much on the organic posting on social media, but I want to talk to everybody out there that's in the industry, in the hospitality industry, whatever area may be, food and beverage in general, restaurants, clubs, bars, hotels, just you name it, promoters, promoting companies, event producers, whatever it may be. I've been seeing more and more that a lot of the people that are out there are not actually using paid ads, or that if they are, they're using them the wrong way, or or what I see a lot is like boosted posts, for example, and the main thing is that all of the effort that I see is only put in like 99% on Instagram.
Oh, and of course, we'll get into Instagram. We'll get into Instagram as the main thing. Is obviously most of the people that are probably watching us are very concerned about how to do Instagram. But
because it is the number one platform at this moment that
It depends on your target, who your target audience is. So we start from there.
Correct.
First, we have to figure out, what are the ages of the people that are going to your events, or booking your shows, or going to your restaurant, or going to your place of entertainment per se. No?
Right.
So after you figure that out, then you have to know which platform applies. Because if you have a young crowd, then even Instagram will be out of style, or even a better idea to do a little bit advertising on a Snapchat, for example.
Right. Yeah. So I know, for example, when I wrote the book, it was 2 years ago. So when the book was written, things have changed from that moment on. Yeah. So that's one thing that I mentioned in the book, that you have to keep updated with social media. And when I say updated with social media, it's not what happened this year and last year. No, it's what happened 2 hours ago. Yeah. It's crazy how it moves, how fast it moves. And everybody talks about the algorithm, which in the end is that one thing that nobody understands. Nobody knows what the algorithm really is. And you got one guy up there going crazy, having fun with the algorithm.
Yeah, it is challenging to figure it out because but I think if you focus on, it's hard to keep up also.
Right.
With the changes.
But
taking on that.
My question is this: when you are, and like you said, we're gonna stay off from Instagram for now, but in the end, we'll always end up there. When you are using paid ads, in whatever platform, does the algorithm still apply to paid ads?
Well, I mean, if you are having organic engagement through your good content, and I'll go back to first of all, I started with the audience. So knowing your audience is number one. Then number two, that I will do is figure out what the content is going to be, so you know what platform to place it.
When you're talking about audience, you're talking about
who your crowd is,
your clientele, your niche, your group of people, your target audience, 100%.
Obviously, I mean, if we're talking to business owners or promoters, you're starting for something that's already been done. Like if you own a business and you own a restaurant, you know who the people are. So it would be a good idea to target people similar to the people that are actually visiting your spot or going to the parties already.
Right.
So if you have parties every Friday and you have a crowd of 21 to 25 or 27 or under 30s, I will find a different platform than 30 plus.
Correct.
And then on the engagement side, if it matters or not when it comes to doing paid ads, it obviously does, because if the content is good and if it's engaging organically, it will be a much cheaper way to put an advertising budget, not a boost, but like an advertising budget to good content throughout all the platforms.
Correct. So I did mention actually something in there regarding, for example, Snapchat. I always saw it as the youngest demographic. Mm-hmm. It's a little more of a funny kind of fun thing, people making funny faces, all that kind of stuff. But I don't use Snapchat much. I go in there, I check it, but currently I don't understand it.
Well, let's start with Snapchat. Okay. If you guys have a young crowd, even it's funny because in the advertising platform, if you guys don't know what it is, what I'll do is just Google Snapchat ads, and I think it's ads that Snapchat or Snapchat Ad Studio, something like that. But if you Google it, it will pop up. Sign up on that. You have to apply, and then they accept you, and then you get a submission email or whatever. And then when you have set up an account,
to be able to
advertise
on Snapchat, you got to be approved.
Yeah, once you're approved, then you're able to set up these ads. And the
Do
funny
you have
thing,
to be an agency like you, or no?
I mean, I applied as an agency. I haven't applied as a single, as an individual, but most likely because you have to write what your company is about.
What are you gonna have advertising? Be advertising.
So after once you have that access, it's funny because when you're gonna set up your first ad,
I'm sorry, I'm gonna be eating this amazing cake while you talk.
You see that the age group goes up to 30.
Okay.
That's the top.
Really?
Yeah.
No wonder.
When I saw that, I'm like, wow, this is great.
29, by the way. I'm 29, but
it's a good thing because if your target is under 30, this is a good platform to be at. So what I will do there is just create content for Snapchat. A lot of selfie videos using the filters. Try to come up with a filter of your place. That would be a good way. I know you want to talk a little bit about technology. Right now you can create the VR filters and there are a lot of websites that you can go ahead
What's
and do
a VR
that.
filter?
It's a filter that when you put your face, it adds something to your face, like a mask or something.
Oh, okay. That's what Snapchat does. Got it.
You can do it also on Facebook and Instagram as well. But try to use the resources on the Snapchat, for example, that are for Snapchat.
Right.
Create your filter, create your when people come, they can use your place or whatever, and then focus a marketing budget for that.
Okay.
And then you can jump to other platforms, but as reminders. I use them. If your main target is under 30, then in my opinion, you can take a lot of advantage using Snapchat and then supporting with Instagram and then a little bit of Facebook, but not as much.
How about YouTube? What do you see on YouTube when it comes to advertising for the hospitality industry? Is that a platform that you see any advantages on, or because I know for example, you can do the fact that you can do a lot of video. That's one. But the second thing is understanding that YouTube is owned by Google.
Yeah.
the fact that they're together, I mean, Google is Google. You know what I mean? It's like, so anybody that's gonna Google something, your video is gonna come up if they're Googling, the right terms or whatever that you're posting on there.
If you guys want to start advertising on YouTube and Google, also the same thing as Snapchat. You have to apply for like an advertising account. Google, literally YouTube ads or YouTube.
So out of all
Google,
the platforms, out of all the main platforms, so we don't go crazy talking about Twitch and all the other. But if we talk about so Google, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. Let's leave it at that. With those main platforms, which ones you need to apply? The three that you mentioned.
You apply Snapchat. You don't apply to Google, but you have to create an account and fill your company information.
AdSense, is that what it's called? Okay.
It's just ads now, just ads.google.
Okay.
And because they just updated the platform not too long ago.
Right.
But there, the difference between running an ad on YouTube, which you can, is that you have a more precise about your audience through Google. So through the Google platform you create, advertise on YouTube and then all the Google platforms that are there, like blogs, like your ad will show up on local websites, like the Miami Newtons. Right here we have a website. If they have the AdSense, code on their website, then your ad, if you're targeting that audience, then your video will even show up on those kind of blogs as well.
From what I'm hearing, the first thing you need to define is what your target audience is.
Yes.
After you define what your target audience is, you got to figure out where they're at, what platforms
where they are the most of their time.
So after you know what platform they're on, then you got to figure out how that platform works.
Yes.
So you got to apply for that whatever it is that you need to apply for,
and spend some time on it. If you want to advertise on Snapchat,
and most likely you're going to spend time on YouTube. Learning about that other platform.
Yeah, that's also good. That's why you guys are here. So
exactly. So that's the way. Now, after you decide and you are approved and you have everything set, each platform probably has a different way to advertise on it. Correct?
Yes.
So meaning, there's video, there's audio, there's written word, there's stories, there's post, there's the YouTube video. It all really depends, right? There's blog. So on each one of the platforms, and let's leave Instagram for last because I think we're going to end up dedicating a little more time to that one alone. What do you see, like on YouTube, what kind of content would people have to create in order to place an ad on YouTube?
I mean, you can literally create an ad for your business. Like if you are a restaurant, like right here, I would just do a video of the food and the stuff that they sell here,
right.
And then you don't have to actually, like what I'm trying to say is that you don't have to actually upload content like this,
right?
To be able to advertise on YouTube. You can just set up an ad.
So you do it basically kind of like the way a commercial on TV used to be made.
Yeah. That's it.
But you do it yourself. You can do it with your actual phone. Actually, if you don't have the budget to hire somebody to do so, well, it's easy nowadays to do actually.
And I'll give you a good tool for that. There's a tool that my team started using now for like quick videos, animation, not like videos, but like word animations and stuff.
Right.
With the photos and stuff.
Correct.
It's by Adobe, which is great. They have like really good tools and integration with other apps. It's called Spark Post. Okay. Spark Post. And then there you have it on your phone, and then you can, record on a selfie if you don't have a big budget, and then add some words to it,
Yeah.
and then advertise that on the platform you want to advertise.
Correct.
If it's Snapchat, I think it's less than 10 seconds. I'm not sure. It's not like Instagram, which is 15. It's 10 seconds, and then I will do like a quick 10-second
that's
selfie
one of the
video.
things I like about YouTube, that video-wise, it's just, it works on a longer.
No, really, you have 5 seconds.
Okay.
You don't even have 10.
On YouTube.
Yeah, because the skip countdown gives you 5 seconds.
Oh, okay.
So you have to. Your ad needs to say everything you need on 5 seconds.
Wow.
If you wait
to
like this,
people to come here, basically we need someone
like literally.
Like,
It's like the back in the. Oh man, what's that video app? I even forgot like how insignificant, like how
old
things change. Well, it was like 5 seconds as well. So it's the same thing.
Right.
If you do in Snapchat, is 10. Instagram is 15. Talking in the story, vertical thing. If you jump to YouTube, it's 5. Even if you do a 25-second ad,
Right.
you have 5 minutes. 5 seconds.
Right. To catch people.
Stay there for the extra 2. Then
Correct.
you have like a 8-second, 10-second, effective advertising video.
Right.
So that's one thing. If you advertise on YouTube, think of your information and your most relevant information and cash to be in the first 5.
Right.
Snapchat 10 and then Instagram and 15.
When do you think people should take a jump from doing it themselves to hiring people to do 2 things? Number 1, the video
Yeah.
production, and number 2, the actual social media management.
Well, I mean, and we jumped because one of the things I wanted to mention after the whole audience.
We'll go back to that then.
Created the audience, then you decide which platform where your audience is. Then open all the advertising platforms or whatever.
Right.
After you've done that, then you have to decide what your marketing budget is.
Correct. Okay.
That's like the number one thing. After all of that, okay, how much money can I put down? Does that money allows me to only pay for ads and do them myself and learn on the way, or does that budget allows me to be efficient with the budget I'm going to spend on these platforms, but also have somebody, taking
Right.
care of that. That's where you need to figure
Right.
it out what your budget is.
Do you? I mean, of course, there is no number when it comes to marketing budget. It really
there
has
is,
to
but
do with
it's
you.
it's like a you thing. Like
Exactly, it's up to you. It's
Yeah.
really up to you. And I've seen and learned so many different tactics, techniques, percentages, and you just stick to
Conversions
this
rate,
and don't go over this amount or percentage of what you're producing or whatever. But the reality is that you want to grow, and it really depends on where your stomach says, I'm ready to do this or not. I feel that it's nowadays, especially the fact that any of these platforms, Google, YouTube, Instagram. I don't know about Snapchat when it comes to the ads yet. I haven't used it myself. And Facebook. All of them are underpriced for what you get in the end. It's the way that I see
Yeah,
it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
The price, even though that Google and YouTube are a little more now than they used to be
Yeah.
back in the day, like today, and still, Facebook and Instagram already went up also, but still, you can still get so much out of nothing.
Well, I think
Or
it's
low
better.
budget.
You get more out of that than paying, I don't know, like a bus stop.
Yeah.
flyer,
Nothing old
$3,000,
school. Anything old school, I
$5,000 or
don't
whatever,
think works in that sense. Money-wise, it's not worth it for sure.
You get more for your bucks, which is great.
And the reality is that if you decide the correct content for the ad, which is probably the next thing that you got to do, also, it's
Yes.
exactly what the ad is going to be, and you have the target audience, and you know the budget you have. Most likely, after the first ROI, the first return on
Yeah.
your investment, you're gonna go, oh wait, let me double that budget.
I think that's one of the things I wanted to mention about the budget thing.
Right.
Applies a lot to businesses like us or like yourself, like promoters, because there's not like a conversion. Like
Correct.
you're not selling that this cup for $1. So
Right.
you're selling this cup for $1 plus your marketing. You can decide what your marketing budget is on a
Yeah.
percentage wise. It's easier because you can
Correct.
say, okay, for this amount I sell this amount of cups. But when it comes to like promotion, you can keep count. You keep count of what the people come into the door or whatever.
Right.
But if you do figure out a way, which is one of the things that we did for LMG, of how to do a conversion, then you are more
Yeah.
precise on where your money is going.
Right.
What could be a conversion? A lead. It could be a conversion. Okay. How much money do I pay for this person to click on here and go to the chatbot?
Right.
That will be okay. So each person is, I don't know, $3, $4 or whatever.
Right.
Then you can go back to your, budget and say, okay, how much money for $200? How many people I can get to leave their phone number or whatever, or just go directly to the bot
Right.
and interact with the bot.
Hey, by the way, and budgets on Facebook, for example, there's people that budget stuff like $5 a day,
Yeah.
things like that, and those budgets make a lot happen. I know I've mentioned before that the 3 parts that you want to do with advertising and organic also, but
Yeah.
which is to commit to connect, to commit, and convert.
Yes.
Correct. So now the ads. I think also you should split that budget, that whole budget that you found, into those three things.
Yes.
The way that I usually do it, I do that one. I do percentage-wise, and I usually stay more on the 20% on the connect,
Yeah.
and about the same on committing,
Yeah.
and then the rest, the other 60% on actual converting, because I'm attacking the people that have been, connecting, the people that are already committed and called, traffic, new traffic that doesn't know who I am. So that's one of the important things too, that you need to know who are you targeting and what do you want to say to them, you know what I mean, and where are you going to find them. So the way I see it also is like this, and I'm going to get to Instagram now, which is what everybody uses, and we're getting.
Cool.
I think it's time to talk about them. So people are on their phone most of the time right now. Now it's crazy. It's everybody has a phone in their hands, and everybody has access to it. Instagram is an app that I don't know if you know how many million people have it, or billion. I'm sorry,
yes,
it's crazy numbers. So the amount of people that you can reach, well, of course you're going to target it down to the people that you want to reach or whatever. But you need to think, okay, so what time do I want to reach those people? What do I want to say when I reach them? Are the ads better if I do a produced ad or if it's me talking to them specifically? So all those things, come into factor. And I think in the hospitality business, although, people do want to see a little bit of the product. For example, if you're selling food, if it's drinks that you're selling, they want to see a little bit of your party or what's going on, or the ambience, the actual drinks. But they also want to see that person that's inviting. They want to feel that they're not being invited by a robot or it's just the ad per se. It's that person behind bringing them over. Actually saying, come over here.
It takes for some. What we do for LMG, we do a little bit of everything.
Right.
We have the Party Monster, which is like
Yes.
like an iconic thing that people see and then they relate to like the party relating to LMG.
Correct.
Then we had Josh, which is like the voice of of like inviting.
Right. By the way, those are gifts that you can find on Instagram.
Yes.
If you go to Instagram,
Yes.
you go to the gift part and you go look for Party Monster and you see our LMG Party
and
Monster.
that's something using a platform. Let's go back to using the platform.
Right.
Giphy right now, we one of the gift that we have for the Party Monster is almost to 800,000 views because people like it and use it on the story. So,
Right.
Going back to the whole Instagram, you have to do everything, a little bit of everything. You have to do the
Right.
flyer, you have to do the video, you have to do the selfie, invitational. If you're a promoter, then you have to be engaging. You have to do certain things that people connect with you,
Right.
like experiences, like for example, like the Josh and the Party Monster. But I think you have to target in a way where you are planning your days ahead,
Right.
which is one of the things that I want to close about, especially for Instagram.
Okay.
If you after you figured out your audience and your budget, you have to plan. You can just post today whatever you like,
Right.
and then just boost it because
Yeah.
because I bet you I bet you that people will click and people
Right.
you get a bunch of likes if
Yeah.
you select your audience correctly, but it's not gonna be as effective as saying, okay, I'm gonna do one post a day or 2 posts a day, so I have these 60 pieces of content that I'm
Right.
gonna be using for the next 30 days.
30 days, right.
With this amount of money.
Correct.
And then on the way, if you're learning, you'll be able to tell what works best.
Right.
And what works best is where most of your money will go.
Correct.
And then everything else is fillers. So because one of the first things people do when they see you is forget about you.
Yeah.
So you have to keep reminding them every single day
Yeah.
with all different kinds of content. So
Right.
especially for Instagram.
So one thing I would love to add to this, because everything you said is on point 100%. One thing I would love to add to this is those Instagram ads. Make sure, and any ad, make sure that besides the content, besides the information you're giving to the client, besides what you want to convey as a message, you must have a call to action.
Oh yes, I have it right here.
Yeah, and it's the call to action is one of the parts that a lot of people forget 100%. It's like, okay, so I'm seeing a flyer and it's a sponsor. I see that it's sponsored, so you know that it's an ad.
Yeah.
It's not like it's hidden and people don't know. It could go, if you slide fast.
Yeah.
But if you know it's an ad and it's a flyer, and all I see is a flyer, and it says that an event is happening, and there's nothing there for me to do. Like when I actually click on it, there's no point to that.
No, it's just like the flyer we talked about. People just driving by.
Exactly.
And just.
So you need to make sure. Can you explain call to action?
Yes. Number one, learn more. If you're not sure what to do, or if you're not sure if people are going to sign up or subscribe, because the call to action is what the text that shows when people see your ad. So there's a bunch of options. The number one is learn more. Mm-hmm. Worst case scenario, lead them to your profile. Don't add, like you said. That's one of the things that people do miss. Add something. If you're not sure, learn more will be great to your profile. If you have a website or a mailing list, then you can change it to a subscribe and then try it out. Always do a bunch of them. I'll do like subscribe, learn more,
right.
Sign up, and then different call to actions have different results.
100%. So with that last thought, I think we can part today's episode, and because there's a lot of information you guys can use from it, go back and re-listen. But that's one of the last things. Also grab that budget and make sure that you test. You have to test. Yeah. Test on all the platforms. See what works for you. Besides everything that Julio said to you, besides all those things, make sure that you're testing. If you're not testing, there's no way that you're going to know what works for you, because whatever you have might be different than anybody else's. There's no one way to do this.
No.
And
different.
And you might surprise yourself with something that you're going to discover after you're testing. So,
thank you, man.
Thank you so much for coming today. They're about to close and kick us out of here. So,
see ya.
One more time, the book on Amazon. You find him at
Looking Pop.
You find me at the Nightlife Entrepreneur. All the episodes on nightlifepodcast.com. And you got to come here at Eggs and Bakery on Brickell. Come try this Nutella cake. See you next week.